Before modern law, before human rights, before anyone thought twice about mercy, there was punishment. And it was designed not just to hurt, but to break, to humiliate, to make an example so horrifying that every witness would carry the memory to their grave. History's darkest chapters aren't written in wars alone. They're written in the screams of the condemned. Here are 10 brutal, ancient punishments that will make you grateful to be alive. Number 1. Scaphism, the Persian boat. Persian executioners would trap a condemned man between two hollowed boats, his limbs dangling in stagnant water. They force-fed him milk and honey until he developed severe diarrhea, then coated his exposed skin in the same mixture. Insects swarmed, nested, and fed from the inside out. Greek historian Plutarch documented one victim surviving this way for 17 agonizing days. Number 2. The brazen bull, Greek innovation in agony. Invented in ancient Greece by a craftsman named Perillos, the brazen bull was a hollow bronze statue shaped like a bull. The condemned was locked inside, and a fire was lit beneath it. As the metal superheated, the victim's screams were acoustically channeled through tubes in the bull's nose, emerging as the sound of a bellowing animal. Perillos himself was reportedly the first victim. Number 3. Crucifixion, Rome's most public terror. While widely known, crucifixion's true horror is often understated. Roman authorities used it specifically as a tool of social control. Public, slow, and deliberately humiliating. Death came not from blood loss, but from asphyxiation, as the victim's body weight made breathing increasingly impossible. Victims sometimes survived for days. Roman records indicate thousands were crucified along major roads to maximize psychological impact on the population. Number 4. Ling Qi, the death of 1,000 cuts. Practiced in imperial China from roughly the 10th century until its abolition in 1905. Ling Qi involved the systematic removal of flesh from a living person in a precise, ritualized sequence. The goal was to prolong suffering and maximize dishonor, as dying with a mutilated body carried deep cultural shame. Historical records and early 20th century photographs confirm the practice was carried out publicly before large crowds. Number 5. Impalement, Vlad's preferred message. Long before Vlad III of Wallachia made it infamous, impalement was used across the ancient Middle East and Ottoman Empire as a calculated instrument of terror. A sharpened stake was carefully inserted to avoid immediate vital organs, keeping the victim alive for hours or days. Vlad reportedly dined among forests of impaled enemies. Ottoman and Byzantine records confirm it was used specifically to demoralize invading armies before battle even began. Number 6. Rat torture, confined and consumed. Used across ancient Asia and later documented in various medieval contexts, rat torture involved confining a live rat in a container strapped against a prisoner's body. The rat, with no escape, would instinctively gnaw through whatever was in its way, including the prisoner. The psychological dimension was often as devastating as the physical. Historical accounts from China and later from the English Civil War period describe its deliberate use to extract confessions. Number 7. The Judas cradle, a seat of agony. Used primarily in medieval Europe but with roots in ancient torture philosophy, the Judas cradle was a pyramid-shaped wooden seat onto which victims were slowly lowered by ropes. The pointed apex was positioned to cause maximum internal damage, while the victim's own body weight did the work. Executioners could control the pace precisely. It was considered a sophisticated device because it left the external body largely intact, a chilling detail of its design. Number 8. Boiling alive, a royal punishment. In ancient China, Mesopotamia, and later Tudor England, boiling alive was reserved for crimes considered especially treasonous or morally catastrophic. King Henry VIII of England formally codified it as a legal punishment for poisoners in 1531. The condemned was typically lowered gradually rather than submerged at once, a deliberate prolonging of suffering. The confirmed executions number in the dozens. Historical court records document at least 2 confirmed executions by boiling in Tudor England alone. Number 9. Flaying. Stripped of everything. Among the most ancient documented punishments, flaying, the removal of skin from a living person, appears in Assyrian royal inscriptions as early as 883 BCE. Assyrian king Ashur-nasirpal II boasted of flaying rebels and draping their skins over city walls as warnings. The practice was also recorded in ancient Mesoamerica during certain ritual contexts. Archaeologists have confirmed depictions of flaying in stone carvings and palace reliefs across multiple ancient civilizations. Number 10. Damnatio ad bestias, condemned to the beasts. In ancient Rome, criminals, slaves, prisoners of war, and early Christians were sentenced to face wild animals in the arena. Lions, bears, leopards, and bulls, as public entertainment. Unlike gladiatorial combat, the condemned were given no weapons and no chance. Roman historian Seneca described the spectacle with visible disgust, noting that audiences cheered the deaths as sport. Estimates suggest tens of thousands died this way across the Roman Empire's history. These weren't accidents of a crueler time. They were systems, designed, refined, and administered by organized societies that believed suffering served a purpose. The distance between that world and this one is measured in centuries of hard-won progress. That progress is not guaranteed. History is a reminder of what humans are capable of, in both directions. If this made you think, share it with someone who needs the perspective. And subscribe, because understanding the past is how we protect the future.